Hello, my name is Ana Jimeno and I teach English at the Department of Applied Linguistics, Departamento de Lingüística Aplicada at the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. Today we're going to talk about writing a CV in English. First of all, we have to specify our personal details. Our first name, our surname, date of birth, place of birth, specifying city and country, our nationality, and our passport number or national ID number. You have to bear in mind that in some countries they're not used to using two surnames like we do here in Spain. So although we should specify both our surnames, because officially that is the information that's going to appear on our ID card or on our passport, we can either put a dash in between both surnames, or here, as you can see, clearly put the information on two separate lines. First name and then underneath the surname, your two surnames. Also, under personal details, we should specify our address. Now, perhaps you're studying in a different town to where you normally live, to your home address, so you could write down both addresses, your term address and your home address. We would also have to give our telephone number, fax number, and email address. When we specify our telephone number, remember that because we're writing an international CV, we have to include the international code. Now, as you can see here on the screen, I've put the symbol plus and then the code 34. 34 is the international code for Spain. For example, the international code for the UK is 44. So if we write plus, this means that the person has to dial their international code. Here in Spain it's 0000, and then the city code, the country code, followed by the telephone number. You'd have to include this even if it's a mobile number that you're going to write here, because when you're ringing a mobile number from abroad, you also have to include the country code. And the same applies to the fax number. As I say, you have to write your email address and specify your sex, male or female, and your marital status. If you're single, married, the number of children that you have, if you have any, and so forth. The second section to include would be the information referring to education and training. And we can include information on all stages of our education, starting from primary education. Okay, so this would be our school education. And here we would have to write the name of the school, the city where the school was located, the country, and the years from year X to year Y. The same goes for our secondary education. The name of the school or the institute, the city, the country, and the years that you were at that school. And of course, we have to include our university studies or higher education. Note here that the three stages of education are called primary education, secondary education, and higher education. That refers to university level. Here, it would be interesting to include your current studies, as well as the degrees that you may have been awarded in the past, whether they are at graduate level or postgraduate level. we have to specify the name of the institution that awarded the degree, or where you are currently studying, the city where that institution is based, the country, and as well as we said before, from X year to Y year. Now, it's sometimes difficult to find the correct equivalence for a degree in different countries. This is a model here that I've taken from the British higher education system, and it's more or less equivalent to the system that we have here. For example, there are several levels. The first level would be a BA. BA stands for Bachelor of Arts. There's the parallel BSc and the parallel BEng. BSc standing for Bachelor of Science and BEng, Bachelor of Engineering. Now, I would suggest using the BEng degree to describe the degrees that are taken here at this university, the 4-year degrees, the 3 or 4-year degrees. Then the MA, which stands for Master of Arts, MSc, Master of Science, and MEng, Master of Engineering. This would be more or less equivalent to a long cycle degree here at the university, the 5 or 6-year degrees. The following stage would be a PhD. PhD stands for Philosophical Doctor. And I've written down here MD so that you are aware that MD stands for Medical Doctor. Of course, Medical Doctor has nothing to do with Philosophical Doctor, although medical doctors can, of course, become philosophical doctors too. Regarding studies, we have undergraduate studies, postgraduate studies, and master's courses. If we want to describe from when to when we carried out a specific degree, we would have to say, I completed my graduate degree in, for example, business management from 1999 to 2002, for instance. I also want to remind you that in English we have to say university course and professional career. The word career in English always refers to your work career, what you do after you have been awarded your university degree. And a university course actually refers to your university studies. This is an example of a way to describe what you are studying at the moment at the university. For example, you could say, I am currently studying a BEng degree in, for example, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, etc., etc., at the School of Design Engineering, and then the name of the university, in the national language, and the name of the country where that university is found. We would also have to specify whether we have completed the final year project. If so, we can give the title of the project as follows. We can include an item, final year project on, and then include the title. We would also have to include other courses and qualifications that we may have completed. For example, as you can see here, a 30-hour course on CAD, a 20-hour course on MySQL, etc., etc. And remember always to specify who awarded the certificate and when it was awarded. The third section in a CV should refer to our professional experience. Now, there are several ways of specifying this. For example, we can be explicit, saying, I have worked, for example, as a professional diver in. Here we would have to write down where and the name of the company for however long. We can say for 4 months, for 5 months, for X number of months in whichever year, or from and the precise months, from February to June 2002, for instance. Or, another example, helping children and elderly people become acquainted with the euro for the Sonai Company in Lisbon from November to January 2002. Or, professional training in, and then the name of the company, the place, the period of time, and the year. The fourth item to be included would refer to languages. Knowledge of foreign languages is a very important item on any CV. And you have to be very precise and explicit about the level of language that you know. We have to specify the languages and also the level. For example, beginner's German, higher intermediate English, native speaker of Spanish and Catalan, or Valencian, Portuguese, whatever. To specify the level of knowledge, we can refer to the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, which has a set of levels, a standard set of levels, which are recognizable by the whole of Europe, the European Union. For example, A1 is a beginner's level, A2 would be elementary, B1 lower intermediate, B2 higher intermediate, C1 is advanced, and C2 I think is proficiency level. We would also have to include the list of certificates that support your knowledge of the foreign language. For example, if you have taken an official exam, give this information: first certificate in English, business English certificate, etc., etc. And also the date. Remember to specify the date when the certificate was awarded. Another section, the fifth section, would refer to any additional information that you think is relevant for your CV. Examples of things that we could include are these that you have on the screen here. Whether you hold a driving license, if so, it would be necessary to specify for which categories of vehicles. Then your computer skills. Nowadays it's important to let anybody know about our computer skills. For example, if we are proficient users of Microsoft Office, web editing tools such as Dreamweaver or FrontPage, web publishing, etc., etc. Try and be as precise as possible when you include this information. Any other skills that you may have, like professional diver, qualified lifeguard, etc., etc. And also, we'd have to specify any grants and scholarships that we may have been awarded. For example, I have been an Erasmus student at the University of X in such and such country for so many months in the year whichever. Also, additional information such as your military service, if you think it relevant and you have done your military service, then you can also include this in your CV, indicating the place and the time in which you did it. Also, hobbies, your personal interests. I don't know, here you have a number of examples: swimming, reading, going to the cinema, going to the theatre, playing the piano. There you can, of course, write anything that's of your personal interest. Any prizes that you have been awarded. For example, I was awarded the first, second, third prize in a story writing competition. Lastly, we should include references. It's always convenient to give at least 2 names specifying that person's contact information. For example, Mr. or Mrs. X, Head of International Relations, School of Design Engineering, Universidad Politécnica de Valencia. So here we'd include the name, the position that that person holds, and the place where they either teach, if it's an academic environment, or the name of the company where they work. Lastly, these are a couple of websites that I've selected, which I think may be of interest for you in order to complete a CV in English, writing an international CV in English. This is the European Commission's official CV. You can find it on this website here. And then also on this website, which is located at the University of Kent in the United Kingdom, there's a range of CVs, letters and application forms which I think could be very useful for you. Okay, so that's all for me for now. Thank you. Bye-bye.